Okay, moving on to November, when we hit that holiday gift shopping rush, both AI Mode and ChatGPT rolled out advanced commerce features that essentially turn them into personal shopping assistants. So for e-commerce clients, this meant a massive shift in how products were discovered and bought using AI. So Google introduced Agentic checkout, where users could track a specific item's price and then even have Google complete a purchase for them once it hits that budget. They even integrated a Let Google Call feature, where the AI calls local stores on users' behalf to check inventory in real time. Now, simultaneously, OpenAI launched its shopping research experience. So instead of users sifting through dozens of sites, they could now have a conversational research session where ChatGPT builds a personal buyer's guide, comparing everything from specs, reviewing quality sources, and weighing trade-offs, all within the chat interface. So this is really the end of the funnel reality that we're now navigating in 2026.
Yeah, and we can see the situation developing in early January as well. So Bing, for those who don't know, Bing Copilot caught up with AI Mode and ChatGPT by introducing agentic checkout features, which for those of us who love e-commerce and want get sort of obsessive over these things, this is huge. So it looks like Shopify is actively working on improving the infrastructure for AI commerce. So they opened a waiting list for its new agentic plan, which is something that's kind of will change, could potentially change everything for millions of e-commerce sites across the internet. But Google has also just announced its Universal Commerce Protocol, which helps merchants and platforms share commerce catalog data consistently across Google services. So the whole process, Andrew, you talked earlier about kind of, how, agents can just go off and do things for you. But we're basically sending robots to the shops now, which is, it's, I don't know which direction it is going to be the dominant kind of path to this, because there are so many different sort of competing kind of ways in which the whole process of buying things online is going to adapt over the next couple of years. But this is, one of all of these areas are interesting, but for me, this is one of these things that I could literally just kind of, immerse myself in for days and just, never come back and just come back a sort of gibbering wreck. But I'll see anything that you would kind of add to this.
No, I think it goes back to agentic browsers, because Perplexity for a little while has been kind of providing some of those kind of e-commerce related agentic capabilities. I think it was Amazon that's blocked Perplexity's agents from accessing Amazon, because they're like, hang on a minute, we don't want your agent kind of like crawling our site and helping people to kind of like make decisions about what they may or may not buy. So again, it's all part of the kind of unbelievably kind of dynamic and kind of fluid situation that we find ourselves in. But even on a simplistic basis, I've got a little shortcut in my comment browser where if I'm on say an Amazon page looking at a product, I say, hey, can you go off and just find any other additional unbiased, authentic, proper customer reviews and find other potential rival products? And 5 minutes later, the agent comes back and says, here you go. So, oh, right, okay. That's giving me a much more kind of rounded perspective on the decision-making process. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually say, look, go off, and once you've found what you think's the best one, just go and buy it for me. I'm not quite ready to do that, but technically there's no reason why somebody who wanted to couldn't set up that kind of process themselves. So yeah, it's very interesting whether are you selling to the human being or are you selling to the agent that the human being has briefed to go off and represent them out there in the great kind of online e-commerce arena.
Yeah, and one thing I will add, like the importance of like your product feed is now more important than ever, right? We're kind of moving away from that very fluffy marketing speak and product descriptions to now being very specific with like the specs, the sizes, who it's meant to be for, like things like that. That's really what's going to make you stand out. So that technical side is really, really important in AI e-commerce as well.